What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through how to get into this career field with this book right here. I'm going to show you this. And if this thing is backwards, if you guys happen to be watching me and it's backwards or whatever, just bear with me. And also you can just listen to me because I'm going to be explaining all this stuff. So cybersecurity jobs, I'm going to explain how I've been able to do this, how I've been able to find these jobs, keep these jobs, how I've been able to do this for years, and free resources that you can get that I'm giving away. Let's start off with the results. I've been getting back-to-back job offers. So in this first part of this book, I talk about how I just get constant people contacting me all day long. They're messaging me on all platforms. They're messaging me directly on my phone. They're calling me on my other line. And the reason why is because I've been able to market myself. I put together a real solid resume, cybersecurity resume. I'm going to show you how to do it in this live. I'm going to focus 100% of the time on that. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do this and what to put in your resume, and then how to research it for yourself so you can do this. Don't even have to buy my book if you watch this thing. All right. So let's start off with that. I get constant calls. It's a blessing and a curse because I'll be driving and I get calls. I'll be at my kids, I'll be out at the park with my kids or something, and I'll get a call. I'll be at another job and I'll get a call. Like, it's constant. It's a blessing and a curse because each one of these is opportunities, and some of them I pick up the phone and it's like something I can't say no to, or something I can share with you guys. I'll make content. If you look at my videos and stuff, sometimes you'll see content where I'm talking about, here, hey guys, if you want this job, here it is. A 6-figure job. It's in San Francisco. 6-figure job. It's remote. It's doing this. It's doing that. I'm constantly getting bombarded with these things. And in my course, in my book, I tell you exactly what I'm able to do. Because what I do is I forward it to another line. So they don't call me. I'll have it forward to a voicemail so I can go through it later or whatever, because I don't want to be called all the time. So I'll show you how to do that. So I do that, by the way, with a free phone line. I just create a free phone line with Google Voice, and then anybody can do it. It's absolutely free. And I tell you how to do it in 5 minutes. Go to Google, type in Google Voice, and you can make yourself a free account and have a free number. So you got to take action. A lot of people do not take action. So that's the next part of the book. So the next part of the book is talking about, a lot of times people think about all this stuff and they just won't take action. There's so many distractions that they don't take the time to actually make this work. And if you listen to what I'm telling you, this will work for you. All right. So I tell you how to get the tools. I tell you how to get the ATS format, which I'm about to tell you in 1 minute here. I tell you how to put the work experience on your resume, what degrees you should get, what certifications, what skills, and then how to find career paths. All that kind of stuff is in book 1 and book 2 of the books that I just wrote. All right. So let me tell you how to get the actual free resume. So not only do I break down the resume format, like how it should look and all that stuff, but I also give you a sample. So if you go to ConvoCourses.com/courses/resume, or just go to ConvoCourses.com, it's one of the first things you click on. It will have a free downloadable resume. This free downloadable resume it's a sample of a cybersecurity ATS style resume. So it's telling you, giving you an idea what kind of keywords you put on there and how do you word it. And I'm showing you, not only, I've got 3 or 4 different templates there. One of them is part of my own resume that I've been using for years, that's been getting me all these different jobs. So go ahead and go download that and you can follow along with what I'm telling you. That resume right there, you can just copy the format style and then just put your stuff in there, right? I'm not telling you to lie or anything like that. I'm telling you how to cheat, not how to lie. You can use my resume, but also in my book, I'm telling you how to use other people's resume, not just mine. So that's the second part, the next part of the book. The next part that I talk about is setting up the actual marketing. I'm trying to give you an idea of where you're going to place this thing. You're going to put it on all the top 10 places for the US. Now, another thing that I tell you in the book is that if you happen to be in another country, if you happen to be in Ghana, Nigeria, if you happen to be in India, if you happen to be in Philippines, wherever you happen to be on the planet Earth, you can do the same thing. But you go to Google, you type in top wherever, Google wherever you happen to be in the world, right? Or Bing or whatever, DuckDuckGo or whatever search engine you use. Use one of these search engines and type in top job sites or top job search. What you're going to find is in your country, in whatever region of the world you live in, it's going to be geo targeted to find the top things in your country. Or you can also put, if you happen to be in India and you want to find jobs there, you put top job sites in India, right? Whatever the top job sites are, you want at least the top 10 because that's where you're going to market yourself. Okay. So it's just something to keep in mind before you do your resume. So you've already downloaded the ATS style resume. And one of the next things you're going to do is you're going to have note all of the top places you're going to post this thing. Here's all the places we're going to post these things. It's a huge list of all the places you want to post. Now we got to finish the resume. So what do we do with this resume? First of all, the resume is very simple. You don't have to put any kind of fancy lettering. It doesn't have to have pictures, doesn't have to have tables. In fact, all those things are a hindrance and they don't help you. So you want it to be plain. Like it's got to be, let me see if I have an example in my book here. Let me just see if I can show you what I'm talking about, how plain this thing is supposed to be. This is ATS style. And many of the top Fortune 500 companies use this style of resume. It's just very plain. It's not, you don't see anything special about this. It's just got the name. It's got summary at the top. Summary is very important because you can like really freestyle and put the most important heavy hitting things in your resume right on the top. So that's one of the things that I tell you to do. And then it's just got work experience. And then you break down your work experience just like you see it here, which is starting off with the job title, the company, the location, and then the start and end date of your work experience. That's the top. And then the next part is you're breaking down each thing that you've done. Now, when you're breaking down each thing that you've done, what you want to do is have an action and an impact statement. Action is what you did relating to cybersecurity. You want to focus on cybersecurity things that you've done. Then the impact is a number. You want to put a number there because the number is going to show the level of impact. For example, if you did vulnerability management, you definitely want to provided vulnerability management for such and such organization, but also you want to put fixed thousands of remediated thousands, 5,000 patches, 5,000 vulnerabilities, 5,000 weaknesses throughout the enterprise. Something like that shows an impact. So that's not just one sentence. That's an impact, an action, and an impact statement. So that when somebody reads your resume, they're seeing that this dude's been doing this for a while. This dude has covered a lot of ground here. So that's why it's important to put numbers on your resume. Okay. Very important to put numbers on your resume. All right. So that's what we want to do. We want to put an action and impact statement. Now, let me see if I can show you some other things that you want to put in your resume. Yeah. So here's another example of an ATS style resume that you want to have on your cybersecurity resume. And it's just, you'll notice, look at this. It's just plain. It's just your name. You want to put contact information. You want to put your education, your certifications. See how it's just straight to the point. That's an ATS style resume. And it's funny because I've been actually doing ATS style resumes for years and I didn't know. Like I just kept it simple. And then I've been able to get hired at all these companies working remotely, making six figures. Like it's been amazing. So let me see what else. Summary section. So in this summary section, I normally call summary because objectives, I figure they already know what my objectives are. My objective is to get a job there. But if I put a summary, it allows me to freestyle. I can put the top things that I've done that I know is going to have an impact on the organization. Like my years of experience is a big one. It might be your top certification. It might be if you have a security clearance, if you happen to have one, you want to put that in there. You want to put that you have experience in PCI compliance. All your top stuff needs to go in the summary section. What do I add? What to add to a resume if you don't have any cybersecurity experience? We'll get to that. I'm writing a whole book about that, and it's cybersecurity entry level. But if you have no experience, what I would do, just like a sidebar, what I would do if I had no experience is I would still post my profile on all of the top sites, almost top 10 job search sites. And then in the summary, what I would put is looking for cybersecurity apprenticeship, looking for cybersecurity on the job training, looking for and then that's what you put in there. You put your education, you put your GED if you have any kind of a high school equivalent, but you're putting your intent to work at some place. That's what you do. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. And then that way, people who are looking for somebody who's like me, who's an entry level person, they're not trying to spend a lot of money. Like they're just wanting to have somebody who's motivated, who's going to come in that they can train. Believe it or not, they're looking for people like this. But if you don't put it out there, how would they know? So that's what I would do if I had no experience. All right, so let's keep going. I'm going to walk you guys through each one of the sections here quickly, and then we'll move on to other things here. So summary, you break down all your top stuff in the summary. And then let's see, the next one's work experience. So work experience section is probably your most important piece because this part right here, work experience, is going to have the most keywords in it. And it's going to tell them exactly what you're doing. And the way you want to lay it out is just like this. You're going to put your job title, what company you worked for, and the company can be a keyword too. So you want to put the company, and then you want to put the place, the location that you work, and then the start and end date. And some people put the organization first, then the work role, and then the place, and then the start and end date. But you could do either one. There you go. Education section is pretty straightforward. In this one, you want to put the name of the institution, the degree that you got, the location of the school, that one's optional, and then the years that you attended, that's also optional. One of the bad things about putting the years is if you were in school a long time ago, then they might, if you worked in a long time ago, then some people have an issue against older people. You probably maybe not even put the year, but you need to put your degree and the institution at the very least for your college. And there's little tricks you can do with your college too. You can put sub bullets. Let's say you are a business administrator, but you had a concentration in cybersecurity, or you had this other course in cybersecurity within business administration, and you're trying to get into cybersecurity. You might want to put that underneath as a side bullet, as a bulleted statement. So that's what I'm listing here in the book as well. The next thing is going to be, and there's other tricks you can do too. If you haven't finished your college course, for example, and you only had, let's say 40 credits towards an associate's degree or bachelor's degree, you could just put the name of the college. Check this out. You put the name of the college that you went to, and then you could put how many credit hours you got for the concentration that you had. If you were going for a bachelor's degree in information technology, you put the University of Phoenix, the location, Santa Fe, Arizona, whatever, and then you put, I was going for information technology degree, 55 credits obtained. Boom. And that way you're able to put the bachelor's degree in there. You put bachelor's degree, working towards a bachelor's degree. You put something like that. So you're not lying, but you're also able to be searched whenever somebody's they're looking for somebody with an associate's degree, somebody with a bachelor's degree. Because sometimes the organization will hire you and say, look, can you finish this degree in a year, in 2 years? That's happened to me before. They needed somebody with a CISSP, and I didn't have one. And they said, look, can you get a CISSP in X amount of time? And I said, yes. They wanted me to get one in a year. They hired me at a slightly lower rate because all the other people had CISSPs. And then within a year, I got a Security Plus. I was so nervous to take CISSP that I waited. And they said, hey, you didn't get the CISSP yet. What's going on? I said, I'll go get the Security Plus. I went and got the Security Plus. I passed it, studied, passed it. And I was like, man, okay, it's time for me to go get the CISSP. And then I went and tested for that and passed it. Studied like for a year, so I passed it the first time. Let me see. Acceptable degrees. It just needs to be, for cybersecurity, here's another misconception. A lot of people think that you have to have a cybersecurity degree to get that's what they're looking for. No. So they're looking for something in STEM usually. STEM means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But you can get away with other things. If you happen to be working for the police department, justice department, something like that, they would totally take a justice degree. If you happen to be working in the hospital and you happen to have a background as a CNA, that would actually really help you in IT at a hospital or any kind of healthcare facility, because now they know that the language, the environment, you work with nurses and doctors and stuff like that. So that would actually help you. You work with medical equipment, you know how it works on a network. So that is really incredible for that particular career. If you happen to be working for a medical institution, and the same thing with financial. Let's say you were getting a cybersecurity, you're trying for a cybersecurity job, but you were used to be a bank teller, used to be a loan officer, but you're trying, or used to be in real estate, right? That could possibly help you to go work for a real estate agent or work for a bank or a financial institution as a cybersecurity person. Now, their lingo, you want to put that on your resume as, hey, I studied and got my real estate license, right? But I'm trying to be a cybersecurity for this mortgage company or a real estate company. That could help you out. So it's not just about cybersecurity degrees, right? Depends on what you're trying to do. So let's keep going. Let me see. Certifications. This one's also targeted. Like certifications depends on what area you're getting in. It's not always just about Security Plus or CISSP. It really depends. There is, if you happen to be wanting to be a pen tester, there's pen testing certifications. If you happen to be, you want to do totally non-technical and you want to do program management, that's another career path that doesn't do next necessarily technical certifications. They have something called a PMP. They have a whole nother track of certifications that you could do. So it depends on what type of job you're trying to do to get that position, what certifications that you need for a particular job. All right, and that's what you're going to put on your resume. Another thing that I go into in this book, I go into skills, I go into some of the tips and tricks and stuff like that. And there's an audio book for it too. I briefly go into different kinds of paths, which we're going to talk about next if there's no questions. But another thing I talk about is what kind of security to put on your resume. So this is a big one that I think it's like one of those questions that nobody asks that they should ask. So let me go down to how I would figure this out with all my years of experience and see how I've got so much stuff in this book. So many tips. Okay, so one of the ways to figure out what you need to put on your resume for cybersecurity, a lot of people, like I said, people are lost. People think it's all hacking. I've never hacked a system before. I've never implemented this or that kind of security control. That is not what cybersecurity is. That's not the only thing that encompasses cybersecurity. Okay, there's many different aspects of cybersecurity, and I want to walk you through a couple that you might not have thought about. Account management. If you've ever created an account on a computer for an organization, that's one. If you've ever done continuous monitoring on a system, that means looking at logs for a system. That's also cybersecurity. If you've ever done vulnerability management, that's like uploading patches on a system. If you've ever done anything like signatures on your malware protection system or your antivirus software, that is also cybersecurity. If you've ever set up training or wrote a policy or a procedure or a process, if you've written any of those things, that is part of cybersecurity. Those are things you want to put on your resume. Very important. If you've done any networking stuff, there's so much networking stuff, network monitoring, network access, wireless stuff. There's so much that goes into encryption. There's so much that goes into security. If you've done any kind of networking before, there's so many things. If you are an application developer, if you are a software developer, that's another aspect that's huge for cybersecurity, because you have to look at things like documentation, documenting the process, configuration management, control changes, change control. That's another aspect. Making sure that the security is in the actual source code of the actual application. Things like validating input from a user. That's also part of security, cybersecurity, information security. Another one is OWASP. If you know anything about, that's another big one. There's so many aspects of cybersecurity. It's not just CIS Control 18, which is pen testing, penetration testing. People got it twisted. They think that's all that there is, and there's just this huge umbrella, and it's actually bigger than that. I'm going to talk to you about that next, where it's not even technical, and we're going to talk about that in a minute here. But I just wanted to break all this stuff down. You guys got a downloadable. Like if you go to my site, ConvoCourses.com, there's a free downloadable that gives you an example of what S-style cybersecurity resume should look like. Take that one, download it, use it. Use that resume, abuse that resume, take it for your own, paraphrase it, put your own stuff in there, use the same format. That resume that you have is what I've been using for years to make up to 6 figures and also to work from home. So go ahead and check that out, ConvoCourses.com, and then check out the book. If you guys you want to go really deep in the stuff I'm talking about, I go way deeper in this stuff. Go ahead and go to Amazon. Link is in the description. Link is in my bio. But this is what the books look like. I'm releasing a series piece by piece on this one, and it's cybersecurity jobs, resume marketing. I apologize for this thing being turned around, but go to Amazon. You can follow along with me. And then the next one is called Career Paths. And book 2 is talking about the career paths, which I'll talk to you guys about that one after some questions. If you have any questions at all, I'm a subject matter expert on not only getting jobs in cybersecurity, but also in cybersecurity itself. I'm currently in this career path. I do this for a living. I've been doing this since 2000. Cybersecurity, I've done cybersecurity analyst work where I was looking at logs. I've done information system security officer work where I'm writing policies, writing procedures, coordinating with stakeholders for the United States government, for different federal agencies. I've also done this in the private sector as a cybersecurity consultant. So I've done many different aspects over the last 20 years.